Tuesday, June 9th. A rainy June 9th. These are the days the trail sucks. Although it's warm, too freaking warm. Alright, I'm getting off the trail. I'm doing a blue blaze down the road. The trail is slippery as hell. I'm not doing the trail. I got a bigger chance of getting hurt on the trail than I do getting hit by a car on the road. So, I'm going to do the road for a few miles, then get back on the trail. I think I'm only doing 10 today to the campground, Loft Mountain Campground. They got showers, laundry. I'll be able to put my wet clothes in the dryer. So, that's my plan. Yeah, you gotta go with the flow the best you can. And this is what I decided to do. At least I think this trail is going up to the parking lot. I just met a day hiker, a couple day hiking with their rain gear on. So I guess even day hikers have a few screws missing, as well as the thru-hikers. Alright, I will, I don't want to keep this out too long, in case I slip again. I don't want to drop the phone. Okay, but that's what's happening today. Hey, don't I look good? I need the vent. I'm opening up my chest. I need the vent. Freaking roasting in here. It's either that or I get hit with wet rain and then that cold goes to my bones. So I think I'd rather roast a little bit at this point, seeing I'm just starting out. Alright, I gotta go down and it's getting slippery. Whoops, sorry. Alright, later. Oh yeah. Sometimes this is all you get for a view. Fog, rain. Oh yeah. I'm walking the road because it's safer than a freaking trail. I'm slipping and sliding all over that trail. And I don't need to ruin my knee again. I lucked out last time, it recovered. But I'm walking the freaking road. The trail is like 100 feet that way. What's the difference? I'm still freaking walking. Except it's a little safer. And I'm walking against the traffic, so I know who's coming. I don't have to rely on them to see me. I can see them. And once already, I had to walk off onto the grass because the idiot, I don't know what they were doing, but they weren't even paying attention. So, I'm walking against the road, against the traffic for my safety. Yeah, it's pouring. Hey, look at it. Look at it just drifting across the road. Love it. It's warm. It's all I can say. It's like 65 degrees. I'm not sweating too bad on the inside. Actually, I'm just a little clammy. That's it. So, I actually feel pretty good. And I feel safe. And I don't have to worry about tripping or slipping in the mud on the trail. So I'm heading for the wayside. I'm going to have a burger and a milkshake. And then I'll get back on the trail for 2 miles and head for the next shelter. That's my plan. We'll see if I hold to it or not. Oops, nobody's coming. It's a plane. All right, let me put this away before it gets too wet. Well, as you can see, I'm not on the trail. Yeah, this is kind of a surprise to me too. I ended up making it to the wayside and met up with one of my hiking buddies that I saw over and over. He's from Britain. And started talking, and I told him what happened to me yesterday, you know, that little blackout I had and the weakness that I've been experiencing on and off for the last week and a half. And I told him how I thought I was gonna get off to get some medical tests done to figure out what's going on here. Because I've tried the food thing. It kind of seemed to work here and there, but I was still having more days where I had zero energy, no stamina at all. It was to the point in the afternoons I couldn't take a deep breath. It felt like somebody was sitting on my chest. No pain or anything. It was just I couldn't take a deep breath. I don't know what that was all about. So I decided to get off the trail here to have some just to see my doctor, do another physical to see what is going on. What am I lacking? I'm lacking something. Something's happening. So I managed to get back to my home here in New England, and this is where I am. I just got back from the doctor's. It's Monday morning here. Actually, it's Tuesday the 11th. I was in transit to get back here on Monday the 12th. Sunday is when this is being when the early portion of this was being recorded. When I was hiking in the rain along the Shenandoahs and got to the wayside that night. Well, let me tell you what happened. So I'm at the wayside, decided to come home to seek some sort of medical tests. And I was going to stand out at the on the Skyline Drive and thumb 30 miles to the Meadows because there was a motel there. And I figured I'd just get a motel room. My wife would come up, pick me up, spend the night, and then we'd drive back. So I was going to thumb, but my buddy from Britain said, nobody's going to pick you up. You look like a drowned rat. Nobody wants a drowned rat in their car. So kind of made sense. He goes, I've always had luck. This is him speaking. I've always had luck standing by the establishment and just asking people as they come out if they're going my way, if they had room and they wouldn't mind taking a passenger along. So I figured, all right, I'll give it a shot because it was still rainy, the wind was blowing. I didn't want to, and there was very little traffic going up and down Skyline Drive. It was pretty quiet. So I stood by the front door outside under the overhang with a cup of coffee to stay warm. And the first couple came out, I asked them, and they said, no, we're going the other way. And they did. When they left, they went the opposite way. The second couple came out, I asked them, and they were, oh yeah, we'll take you. We would have taken you, but we have all our backpacking gear in the car, and they had a small, like a Kia, a little tiny thing. And there was no room for me, so they felt bad, but they were going my way too. So I didn't get a ride then. And then this third couple came out, and I said, you know, would you be going by the Meadows, which was, north 30 miles? And he goes, yeah. I says, oh, do you have room? Would you mind giving me a ride to the Meadows? I got to get a room at the hotel. So he looked at his wife, and his wife nodded, yeah, we'll give you a ride. So I get in there, beautiful SUV, nice clean SUV. So I loaded all my wet gear in the back. They had me sit in the front because they didn't know who I was. They didn't want me sitting in the back and then, kind of all of a sudden pull out a weapon or something. So anyway, I sat in the front and we started driving north to the Meadows. And it's a 30-mile drive, so it took a little while. So we're talking, and come to find out they live in Front Royal, which is the northern end of Skyline Drive. And that's kind of what my initial thought was to get the Skyline, to get to Front Royal, because then it would be really easy for my wife to pick me up then right off of Route 66. So I says to him, would you mind taking me to Front Royal? There's a hotel there, Super 8 I can stay at, and my wife will be able to pick me up right there. And he goes, my wife, I feel, was just about ready to ask you if you wanted us to take you to Front Royal. So that really made my day. So I ended up getting a ride from Loft Mountain all the way to Front Royal. I got a room at the Super 8, and my wife showed up the next morning, picked me up, and then I drove all the way home. We got home about 10 o'clock at night. So it wasn't too bad. That wasn't bad. except we were in that storm the whole way back to New England. We followed it from the Shenandoahs all the way to New England, and today's the next day, Tuesday, and it's still freaking raining here. So today, Tuesday, I fasted yesterday. I stopped eating at 8 o'clock last night because I knew I didn't have an appointment, but they do have a walk-in option at my primary care. So I knew I was going to be seen today, and I figured I'm going to be one step ahead of them. I'm going to start fasting now so that they can do the blood work right away and get my results. And if we can figure out what's going on, then I can get back on the trail quicker. So that's what I did. I fasted all last night and this morning. They got to see me at about 10 o'clock this morning. They took blood out of me, urine, they did, and come to find out, my primary care, my doctor, is an avid backpacker. So he's done a lot of the AT. So I couldn't have picked a better doctor. He's really doing a deep analysis of my system to figure out what the heck was going on here. Because I told him I was eating double. I was drinking plenty. I felt as though I was getting enough rest. It was just my body was shutting down. I had zero endurance. So we're going to get to the bottom of this anyway. And I got an appointment with him a week from yesterday. So this Monday coming, I got an appointment with him. We're going to go over everything. Meanwhile, I'm going to start taking the B12. He said it's a good idea. So I'm taking the B12. I'm just eating my veggies like I normally do off trail. I have a salad a day. Just giving my body a break, I guess. I'm taking a vacation from the trail at 900 miles. I've already made arrangements to get back on the trail. I just got off the phone with the ATC of Harpers Ferry. Just got off the phone with a shuttle driver in Front Royal. I'm all set. I'm going to drive. I think right now, when I get the okay and we can figure out what was going on and I can make the corrections, I'm going to drive back to Front Royal. Actually, no, I'm going to drive back to Harpers Ferry. I have a spot where I can leave my car long term, which will just be like a week and a half, 2 weeks maximum. I can leave my car there. The shuttle driver and Front Royal will pick me up there and bring me to Loft Mountain. And then I can continue where I got off and hike to Harpers Ferry, which is the halfway point. I can sign in, register, sign in. And then I'm really sure that I'm gonna jump north to get out of that mid-Atlantic heat. I just that's not gonna be fun for me. There's no reason for me to put myself through that. I am gonna do it, but I'm gonna do it in the fall when it's a little cooler. So I'm gonna jump north. I haven't decided if I'm gonna jump to the Massachusetts-Connecticut border and then head north to Katahdin from there. I'm kind of leaning towards that. Or the other option is to take a bus from Boston right up to Millinocket, have Shores pick me up and drop me off at Katahdin, and then do Katahdin and head south all the way back to Harpers Ferry. That's an option that I'm looking at also. But I'm 90% sure I'm going to do a flip-flop, just because that heat is, that could be deadly for me, and I just don't want to do that. Going through Pennsylvania, 85, 90 degrees, and 80% humidity. I mean, I'm doing this because I want to have fun, and that's not going to be fun. That's going to be torture, and I don't need to be tortured. not at this stage. Again, this has been very enjoyable. I've had a blast, and I don't want to be put in a position now where I'm going to be hating it. So I'm probably going to do flip flop again. So you won't hear from me. Well, you will hear from me in a few days, but it will actually be like a week in real time until I get my results. And I'll let you people know what I find out, because I'm sure I'm not the only one that that has depleted their body reserves, and you're trying to figure out why you're feeling the way you're feeling. So, we did do a urine test. My urine is fine. I have no bacteria or anything like that would affect my stamina, like a urinary infection or anything like that. That looked good. They're going to do a sugar test to see maybe if my sugar levels were high or low. Maybe I hit a low or something. That's why I went to pass out. So they're gonna that I don't know why they didn't give me that result yet. Maybe that takes a little longer to figure out, or they had to send it in the lab or something. But they're gonna they took a urine test. They took three freaking vials of blood out of me, and I saw the form. The doctor, they're gonna do a kidney function test to make sure that I have no issues with my kidneys. And then there's 8 other tests that blood plate tests they're gonna check, red cell, all that stuff there. But there's 9 tests that they're gonna do, so we'll try to narrow this down. But he seemed to know which direction to go, being a backpacker, being a physician. Again, I was so lucky to hook up with this guy. So he kind of has a feeling of where to look to see why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling. So I will have answers for you, and hopefully that will help you guys, in the future, or now if you're on the trail and you feel in the same way. So hang in there, give me a few days, I'll come back to you. But sometimes you just have to, just got to step back and assess what's going on. If something isn't right, just like if you have a hot spot, you just got to stop, assess it, take care of it, because if you don't, it gets worse. And in this case, the blacking out was the last straw, and I didn't want to keep going and black out on the edge of a cliff. that wouldn't have ended up well, no. So we're going to take a look at this, see what's going on, and just deal with it, I guess. So hang in there. I'm hanging in there. You hang in there, and I'll get back to you shortly here with some answers on what's going on and my final plans on what I'm going to do here. But I'm not giving up yet. No. Okay. From Cape Cod to wherever you are, we'll see you in a few days. Okay, bye.